This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, John. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. What do you have on tap for us, so to speak?
Okay, so tonight's subject is something I've been reading for a little while. And it finally wrapped up in my last shipment of comics. This would be Green Lantern by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. Um, it's like I want to take you back a bit to when Jeff Johns' run ended. Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern ended for DC. I mean, this is like a major game-changing run on the series, but that not only elevated the series profile, but John's profile with in DC as well. It's one of those defining runs that is like we're never likely going to see the equal of on the title. And yeah, I'm putting that out there right now. So, but and it's like and once Johns' run ended, I basically said that I'm done with this because it's like trying to find someone who is going to deliver on the same caliber that Johns did. Well, it's like you need to go for someone say Grant Morrison, who's always got that crazy imagination. It's and was willing to take crazy risks with the with the character. Feel free to start a drinking game each time I say the word crazy when I'm talking about Morrison. But that's not what happened though. It's in fact, they went with another established comic writer, Mark Venditti, best known for creating the Surrogates. That was turned into a movie with directed by Jonathan Mostow and starring Bruce Willis. It was all right, but I figured okay, it's probably not gonna be on the same level of Johnson's run, so I'm just gonna stop right now. Well, Venditti managed to have a very lengthy run on Green Lantern, which makes me think that I probably need to go and check out his run when DC starts reissuing it in Green Lantern by Robert Venditti, multiple collections of his run. It's as things go in one volume. But then after Venditti closed out his run a couple of years back, well then it was announced that hey, Grant Morrison was being handed the reins of the series. And well, it's hey, I figured, okay, now it's time to jump back on the Green Lantern train because Morrison, he does great work in just about everything he does. So, and I'm willing to follow him wherever he goes. Well, three years and 4 volumes later, and well, it's Grant Morrison's run on Green Lantern has been kind of a mixed bag, I would say, because on one hand this is a series that has been uniquely suited to Morrison's unfettered imagination because at its core, Green Lantern is a series about a space cop tackling issues that are best referred to as space crime. And Morrison, he's he hears those things and he's I'm just gonna go to town on this. So it's and that's and I think that the first volume, Intergalactic Lawman, is probably the arguably the most easily accessible of this stuff. It basically boils down how the main Green Lantern character, Hal Jordan, basically to his essence of hey, he's working for the Green Lanterns to enforce order throughout all the parts of the cosmos that the Green Lanterns have jurisdiction over. It's and we get some interesting stories there, such as when Earth is stolen. Jordan has to go and get it back, and also has to place everyone on Earth under arrest for being under the influence of gamma. Of gamma pollution, arguing that they've lost their minds. And it turns out that the person who's stolen the Earth, it's the cosmic entity known as a shepherd. Well, he's not arguing that I didn't actually steal the Earth. It's the most the most numerous entities on Earth, the bacteria, all of its bacteria basically had no problem with what I was doing, so I assumed that this was fine and all, that kind of thing. But it's like but the core of like Morrison's first year on the title basically revolves around like Jordan basically being recruited by the Guardians, like the like basically the overseers for the Green Lantern Corps, basically like recruiting him to be go undercover with the Black Stars. The Black Stars are basically a it's like a group that is like being run by an entity known as Controller Mu. It's like and like they're like and they believe that his will is absolute. It's like and they're like and they believe that he's going to like deliver order on it's like unto the galaxy. Um, it's like and serving as Mu's second in command is Belzebeth. It's like a space vampire who, if you've read Morrison's like Final Crisis, you'll recognize her as part of the vampire race that was instigating things and like in that series. It's like the first two volumes generally tell a story of like of Jordan like working his way within the Black Star ranks, like like going space undercover. It's like in this like space mafia, and finding out it's like and trying to deal with like with it's like with what the Black Stars have planned, only to find out later on that it's like hey once you've joined the Black Stars, there really is no way out, and it turns out that that even with Jordan's rebellious streak, he might be like in too deep as far as like going with the Black Stars have planned, because in the end it comes down to basically Jordan like um being the final kind of component in the Black Stars plan to engineer a universe where they've got control over everything. It's like and they basically have to ask. It comes down to him having to wish away like everyone, like in order for for this universe to happen. Like especially when he's like only like 5 minutes away from dying at the end of the second volume. Well, it's like as far as that goes, the it's like that storyline is wrapped up in the first three issues of volume 3, which were originally going to be their own volume, like Green Lantern Black Stars, but fortunately someone at DC like had realized that hey, you know what, no one's really going to want to buy like a 3-issue collection, so why don't we just like slam these 3 issues into like the first into the collection of the first half of like the Green Lantern season 2. And it's like I think that like the Black Star the Black Star storyline does a good job of concluding Morrison's first year on the series. And if I'm being completely honest, it's like that was meant to be the entirety of Morrison's run, but then DC managed to secure him to come back for a season 2, like another 12 issue run. But Black Stars basically has establishes a universe where Jordan has basically like given in to to this fascist this fascist space police group. It's like and and it's actually kind of interesting to see how he manages this. It's like it's like it's like you it's fun seeing him like butt heads with Belzebeth, especially when he realizes what's really going on. Oh, and it turns out that the main goal of the Black Stars is to take over Earth, because Belzebeth has a real mad on for like what they did, it's like for what they did to her dad. So it's like I mean like this first season plus Black Stars is good entertaining fun, but at the same time though Morrison's um Morrison's like strength as a writer has always been that he's willing to go really far out there. It's like in terms of his ideas, but he always knows how to ground them in relatable human concerns. Um in Green Lantern though, well, that's not quite the case, because it seems that when given the freedom to just go as wide as the cosmos goes, like Morrison kind of forget to ground things, most things like in these human concerns. Like when we get stuff like the lost like it's like the Lost Lantern Zundernell. It's like or the or the planet of like Athmora. It's like or when we're getting the like the antimatter universe of Quard, which takes a while to establish that it's antimatter weaponeer is actually the like their evil Green Lantern, evil antimatter lantern version of Hal Jordan. It's just kind of like really far out there and just really confusing, like for the most part. um I think that like the saving grace of the second volume is how it basically involves like Jordan wishing away everything like in order to set up the Black Stars like miniseries. But then you get into the second season, and then you get stuff like it's like Jordan being recruited to set up to set up the Young Guardians, basically the replacements for the Guardians of the Universe, who've gone to fight something called Ultra War, which will be relevant in Volume 4, and it's like, and also then being sent to Earth in order to await like to await communication as far as like what's going to be the next stage of his plan of his agenda, because apparently like there's some alien presence that's on Earth that needs to be taken care of. It's like, but in the meantime, he's gonna fight some evil human faced vulture creatures. It's like team up with the Flash. It's like, and in order to take on like a it's like an alien it's like an alien kid god who's like the younger version of a dimension of a galaxy spanning it's like empire that like likes to play with toys and all. It's like, and also the it's like, and also like go back to his test pilot roots and try to rescue some test pilots who have been like subsumed into a lower liquid dimension. It's like, I mean, he hasn't quite abandoned like sensibility here, but it's just kind of like he just kind of like goes off into like really weird esoteric tangents that I honestly kind of like find it hard to relate. And even when we do get like some stuff stuff that's like easier to relate to, such as the evil Superman that's part of the United Planets Superwatch. It's like, it's kind of like we've kind of been here before. But as far as setting this up, it's like it's not as as good or as coherent as I was expecting. It's like, so it's like this is kind of where I was. It's like at the end of like the first volume of season 2, and basically that left Jordan dead because he didn't listen to the Guardians, and he tried fighting the antimatter lantern, his opposite number from the antimatter universe. It's like that, and well, he wound up dead as a result. So that's where we are at the beginning of the final volume of his run, like Ultra War. Well, I want to start. Actually, I should start by saying that that his partner on this series, Liam Sharp, has done some excellent work like over the course of the series. Like, he's got a like detailed, meticulous style that I really appreciate, and he's also clearly able to draw. It's like as it's like the kind of crazy stuff that Morrison desires, like from from a outer dimensional vampire home to like a Green Lantern whose head is it's a volcano. It's like he's like Sharp is like this is like something that I think that deservedly put Sharp on a lot of other people's radars. Like, well, I mean, he did do good work after working with Greg Rucka on Wonder Woman, like for the Rebirth. But I think that like working with his work on Green Lantern is like is just some next level stuff. Even when he like shifts his style to a more digital painterly style in season 2. Not he doesn't do this for every issue, mind you, but it's a slow transition from like like from his pencil work to this digital paint style. And I honestly think it works because it reminds me of just like some of the like over the top stuff you'd see from 2000 AD, like with what they require from their painters, like in the 90s and the aughts and all. But it's good, crazy stuff, and I really appreciate the fact that Sharp is like the kind of artist who like is like not just willing, but like just seems to like thrive on like the kind of crazy stuff that Morrison wants to throw at him. And that brings us to Ultra War, the concluding volume of their run, which starts off with like Jordan dead and having to engage in Ultra War, which is it's like the battle of like self against self. Like basically, like, it's a level of conflict that's basically eventually puts it goes from like putting galaxies against galaxies all the way down to volume molecules against molecules. And he's basically drafted by the young Guardians to help the old Guardians out in their fight against the like fight against the Cosmic Grail that's basically like driving everyone insane. It's like it's a decent enough start to the series, but the one issue that sticks in my head like for this concluding run is the next one, which is it is War with the Anti-World, which is a backwards issue. It's like this could be like the first. It's not the first backwards issue ever done, but it's like the first one I think Morrison has worked on. It's basically telling you the story of the of Weaponeer 666 of Quard, the antimatter universe. The like the evil, Hal Jordan. It's like and it also goes back to Morrison, some of the ideas Morrison established for antimatter universes. Yes, this is the thing he's done with it's like with Earth 2, like during his JLA run. And it's basically like the idea that, hey, it's like this in these antimatter universes, like this is it's not just, like the good people are bad and bad people are good, but it's like the bad people will triumph, like where the good people will fail, like in your standard like comic book story. It's why even though like Lex Luthor was like the good guy in Earth 2, he was doomed to lose. It's like every single time because that's how the universe was set up. And that kind of sentiment is echoed here with Weaponeer 666's fate. It's like, but it's still like a fascinating issue to read because it works both front to back and also back to forward as well. It's like it's easily the highlighted issue. And it's one thing that and reading this, like I just can't. It's hard to wrap my head around how well this works here. It's like it's just kind of like this is how when Morrison is on his A game, like he can just make anything work. It's like especially when he's paired with an artist like who's capable of meeting him like Sharp is. But as far as the rest of the volume, well, it's like we get a couple stories. Like they basically settle into like a couple 2-issue arcs where Hal decides to finally propose to his longtime like a longtime love interest, Carol Ferris, only to find out that a version of him from another universe is there first. Thing is, though, that that this is all set up by Carol Jordan, the Star Sapphire of Earth 11, because apparently there's a interdimensional force that's trying to track romances between Green Lanterns and Star Sapphires. It's like, and it's kind of crazy, and it also digs up a lot of the the gender equality stuff that Morrison was dealing with in his Wonder Woman. It's like Earth 1 series of graphic novels. Only not quite as well. It's like I think that what really sold this, like what he was doing there is the sense that everyone wins when we it's like when we elevate female thinking to the same level of male thinking. But with this, it just kind of feels, it's like, hey, it's just, like, hey, like there's a good Hal Jordan that's in our universe. There's a good Carol Jordan that's in the opposite like female centric universe, and then there's like like unbalanced Carol Ferris in our universe, who's also Star Sapphire, and also like an unbalanced Hal Ferris. It's like in their universe. It's like, and they've all got to find some way to team up in order to fight this like this like this version of the hunt of like the of the killer that's coming to them. That's version of like the Gold Lantern Zundernell that Morrison came up with for season 1. It's like I can kind of see what he's getting at here, but it's not as elegantly put as it was in his like in his Wonder Woman stories. So, and that kind of leads us to like the final the final like 2 stories, which is when he goes to when he's told by the young Guardians that there's a it's like that there's like an interdimensional breach. It's like and that they're going to and that it's like and that they want him to take care of it, but Jordan basically figures like, no, I'm done with what you're saying. It's like I'm gonna like take some leave and I'm gonna hang out my favorite place, the fantasy world of Athmora. And as soon as he does this, well, it turns out that that's where the like where this international breach is happening. And as we find out, well, it's like it's also being orchestrated by one of his old foes, Hector Hammond. This would normally be like the like the big, oh man, it's like, hey, it's like like big Green Lantern villains, like coming again to fight Hal Jordan for the final arc. Oh yeah, man, let's get down. This is gonna be great. Except that one thing I haven't mentioned though is that Morrison's run has kind of felt really unmoored from the greater like DC continuity. Like it's basically existing kind of its own bubble. And on one hand, like like that's generally a good thing. You want like creators like feel free to do whatever they want, like like without regards to like larger continuity. Yeah, okay. Like you want to kind of have them feel like continuity matters, but at the same time, they you don't want to have them feel like beholden to like decades of like what has come before. Morrison kind of like just makes a clean break, like with continuity that it feels for most of his run. So when he starts bringing in like guys like Hector Hammond like for this final arc, it just doesn't quite ring true. Just it feels kind of hollow in the sense that you're trying to like achieve a greater sense of like meaning. It's like for this final arc, and even though like he does try working in like elements of his previous run, it doesn't quite work. It's like in the end, it's like it just kind of like like Jordan saves the day, but at the same time, it just kind of feels like we're dealing with like a mechanical like everything's cool now, so the new writer can just come in and do whatever they want. And to be honest, well, there's been like plenty of Morrison storylines where where he's worked in the past that creators have have been like willing to engage with, like as things go on. I mean, Morrison's work on X-Men is a seminal example of this because people are still like drawing on what he did for his for his for his run that's like close to two decades old at this point. But reading like his this Green Lantern arc, I don't know. It's like I got to be honest. It's like I don't think like it's going to be like as seminal. Really, it's like it just feels like too out there. And on one hand, it's like I can imagine like there are people who are going to like hear this and say, "Whoa, a Green Lantern run that's like too crazy to be picked up on by regular continuity." Hell yeah, man! It's like sign me up, sign me up. Where do I get on for this? For this thing? And yeah, it's like if that's kind of this if that kind of sounds appealing to you, then by all means, to go out and get these 4 volumes. As of right now, it's like the first 3 are in paperback, and this final volume, volume 4, it's like it's still in hardcover. I mean, obviously, I bought them all in hardcover because hey, Grant Morrison writing like Green Lantern. I mean, I think I was pretty clear at this at the beginning, saying, "Hey, sign me up." But in the end, it's definitely one of Morrison's lesser works. I mean, I appreciate just how crazy he was willing to go with some of the concepts and the storytelling here, but in the end, it just doesn't have the same level of humanity that his best work has. I'm talking about his work on JLA, his work on X-Men, his work on the Invisibles, like that kind of stuff. This is just kind of like Morrison, almost completely untethered to like 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 real like humanistic concerns, and overall, it's like I think if you're looking for like really weird ass superhero stuff, you'll find a lot to like here. But at the same time, though, if you're looking for something that's like that really like invests you, it's like emotionally, emotionally and intellectually, it's kind of a mess, really. It's like I don't regret buying this, but I don't know. It's like I was expecting better, for lack of a better term.
So I mean, that just tells me that it's, you can look at a resume and you can say, yeah, this is worth spending my money on because I like the quality of his writing, but sometimes it may just fall short.
This is true. Yeah, it's like I mean, like Morrison's a guy who I will follow to the ends of the earth, and it's like his Green Lantern. It's not really bad. It's just not on this. It's not as good as I was expecting. It's not it wasn't the perfect mix of talent to concept that I was expecting.
All right. Well, that's a pretty good observation there, and hopefully our listeners will kind of take that and make decisions accordingly. So, hey, Jason, do you know what you're going to be talking about next time?
Well, it's like I'm not 100% sure, but I think you can maybe pencil in my thoughts on Invisible Kingdom, the Eisner Award-winning series, like about how consumerism and like following like like make mega corporations for your salvation is bad, but yeah, it's like I've got some very particular thoughts about this series. So this may be it, but we'll see. So there you go.
All right. Cool. Well, we'll catch you guys next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right. Laters.
Bye.